What's good everyone, it's Smudger here, and this is going to be a bit more of a ranty, annoying video, mainly discussing the horrendous state of Warzone right now. It is awful in terms of just everything that's going wrong with every update. Every time an update gets released, something goes wrong, and it's not something minor like, you know, ground loot isn't spawning the way it should be. It is game breaking to the point where the free to play aspect of Warzone is now being called into question on Xbox platforms, and they have addressed it. They haven't fixed it, but they've addressed it, and that is that if you do not have an Xbox Live Gold membership, you can't connect to Warzone. And bear in mind, Warzone's free to play, and you don't need an Xbox Live Gold membership anymore to play free to play games, as it should be, except now you do, because you can't connect if you don't have it. I don't think this is intentional, I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination, but it must be incredibly frustrating for Xbox players, especially if you only play free to play games, if you only play battle royales and, you know, stuff that you can get for free. That's, yeah, pretty unacceptable is probably the word to use without risk of sounding like a teacher that's like scolding a class. And then we have a whole host of other bugs. You know, take your pick on bugs really, you know, we've got one for everyone. I've put out 2 different error fixes for videos in the last 24 hours because of the bugs, and it's just ridiculous that we see so little. And this happened, God, back in April maybe, where there was the loop, the copy add-on loop on PlayStation that never got addressed, and for some people it's still going on, and I don't expect them to address this either. In terms of the errors and the dev errors and the codes that they get, I don't think that will get addressed. It's not within their remit. But you also have things like the moment there was an XP glitch that let you level up weapons too quickly, that was taken out of the game straight away. No hesitation, that was gone instantly. It did no harm to the game, it didn't affect the game's viability, it didn't impact the way the game played. It just meant that people were leveling up their weapons quicker than the game wanted them to. But if you look here on a controller, if you can disconnect your controller on console mid-match, the entire game must be restarted in order to reconnect that controller. You can't speak across platforms. You know, this is stuff that we encountered in Verdansk, and a lot of people gave them a lot of leniency, myself included, being like, oh, this is a huge undertaking for Call of Duty. We've not seen them do it before. They're cross-platform, they're working bugs out, but it's similar stuff that's coming up time and time again now. You know, you still get this splash screen, or at least I still get it at times. You're still getting lower than intended amounts of XP, which makes weapon leveling up for people that don't have Vanguard incredibly difficult. I have Vanguard, I put a lot of hours into Vanguard. I'm getting all the guns gold, you know, I'm going to level them up one way or the other. But if you're here for the free to play, it puts you at such a disadvantage, and it raises some very interesting conversations around Warzone's ties with a paid multiplayer and how that affects it. And that could be a whole 10-minute video in itself. But I can see why people that only want to play Warzone are so annoyed. You know, I still get the audio issues. I can't play Warzone because the audio drops out so often, and we've had nothing in response to it for, what, a week now? You know, there's inconsistent audio levels, which I know they are tweaking here and there, and, you know, fair enough, this happened in Verdansk as well. You'd think they would have played a few custom lobbies within, you know, the little quality assurance team they should have, and figured out that, wow, I can't hear anything when planes are overhead. But you know, there's a ton of performance related issues on PlayStation, and so many that they don't even list them. It is just various. And I know I sound bitter and twisted, but Call of Duty is a game that I love and have done for well over a decade now, and to see the way it's going and how greedy it is and how inconsistent they are with the community and what they want to bring. But don't worry guys, because you can get a little dog with a reindeer antler, you can get all these festive bundles. We will not fix your game though. And this is happening in Vanguard as well. I could pull up the Vanguard Trello board and go through the same amount of stuff and be here for another 5 minutes talking to you. But it's just got to a point now where more and more people are piping up. There's some big names coming up, and it's not surrounding cheaters, which they have addressed, and I've not run into any, I don't think, since Caldera dropped, or even on Vanguard, other than the initial first week, I think. And you know, they've addressed that, and it shouldn't have taken as long as they did, but they've addressed it and it looks to be going okay for now, fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx it, but there's just so many other issues. This is a AAA studio. We're not talking about a small indie company. We're not talking about a team of 10 that are trying to produce this massive game. This is a AAA game by one of the biggest, if not the biggest, devs in the world. And I have no doubt the devs themselves want to produce a fantastic game. I'm sure they want to produce a game that is flawless, that works smoothly across all platforms. And I think the issue, as you may have guessed, comes down to the people at the top, the people pushing for bundles, for, you know, weekly releases on updates with new content, for limited time modes where they can push bundles, they can push all of these things for us to buy, they can push new content because they think that's what people want to see. And to a point it is, if everything was working and they were pushing these updates week on week, people wouldn't have an issue because you're getting new content week on week. Okay, great. What? It's not going to mess up the game as well? Fantastic. If every update didn't completely ruin the game, people wouldn't have an issue, or they'd have less of an issue at least. But every update brings new bundles for you to have shoved in your face to buy, and, you know, new content that we're supposed to be super hyped for, and you can't be, because you know that the moment your game starts updating, it's going to break. There's going to be something awful that happens, and that's the cycle we're in. And it's getting to the point now where I don't even want to play Warzone, like, ever. I'll play Vanguard because it's still playable, there's issues in it, but it's still at its core a playable multiplayer experience. But Warzone, just to get past the issues, it's not possible to have a continuous session where I'm enjoying the game. I might get 2 or 3 games, but I'm not going to get, you know, 6 hours worth on a weekend. That's just not enjoyable, because the game in its current state isn't enjoyable, and everything you have to do to get up to the game and just dropping in and playing is not enjoyable. And I just thought, you know, I'd share those thoughts because they've been rattling around in my head for the past couple of days, exasperated by the fact that there's error codes popping up left, right and centre constantly at the moment. I just want to know your thoughts. Am I being too harsh? I feel like in the past I've been relatively lenient, optimistic towards the devs and the state of the game and how much leeway I did give it, but I think I might have just reached a bit of a snapping point. Maybe I just need to step away from Call of Duty for a couple of days, go touch some grass or something. Regardless, I want to know your thoughts on it. Am I being too harsh? Do you agree? Did I not go far enough maybe? Maybe you are foaming at the mouth at the sheer thought of an error code. Let me know in the comments down below. As always guys, if you did enjoy the video, it's been a different one, bit more of a ranty one, do let me know in the comments, give it a like if that's easier. If you are new here, you want to find your way back, do hit that subscribe button. As always, I hope you enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.